Hi everyone, I'm Miss Hirsch. I work with Rowena Public School and I'm really excited about your collaborative schools project. So let's get into it. I'm going to show you a few of the tools that you can use in Microsoft Teams. So here's the toolbar and you'll see it at the top of your Microsoft Teams when you use it, and we'll go through what each one of those things means. Now, first of all, we have to talk about the rules. We all know that the rules keep us safe and they keep us happy so that we can all work together and really enjoy what we're doing. And also it helps us to finish our work so we can get the job done. Whatever our task is when we're working together in this Teams, in this meeting, we get to finish it if we're all following the rules and working so well together, which I know you all will be. The first one is the chat button. So can you see this button here? That's the chat button. It's sort of looks like a little speech bubble. Now with the chat button, remember the rules are that we have to talk kindly. We want to encourage people because we want to support them and we want people to feel really encouraged to speak up and share with us. We want to listen when people are talking and only write questions or comments in the chat that are about the topic, because if you have lots and lots of people just typing things that don't mean anything, then you can't really have a conversation because you're always looking at the chat and it's very confusing. So it's not really helpful if you do that. It's better if you just only write things about the conversation. So if somebody's talking about something like at home, I have 3 sisters, you might write in the chat, I also have 3 sisters. If they're still talking and you don't want to interrupt them, or you're feeling a bit shy and you don't want to speak at that moment, you could write something like that in the chat because that shows you're listening and you're responding to what they're saying. Now let's have a look at a memory test here. Can we remember the rules? I know that this one was showing that you're listening. Oh, that's the encouraging one. Okay, I've got that one. Let's have a look here. This is the listening. Yep, I've got that, showing that you're listening. And the typing, I remember that only type things that are part of the conversation. Oh, that's the talking nicely one. This one is the showing that you're looking at them. So you're not just tapping and typing all the time. You're actually looking and listening at them all the time and paying attention. And this is another talking nicely one. I did it in 8 moves. That's a record for me. I usually get about 20 moves when I play that memory game. So good questions or comments that show that you're listening could be, tell me about your pet. And then they can start talking more about their pet. If they sort of mentioned that they had a pet, you might write, oh, tell me more about your pet. What's your favourite animal? Where do you go on weekends? What games do you play at home? Tell me about your family in your home. Or I like dogs too. Or I also have a sister. And then you could put in a little smiley face. But really what the best thing to do is wait your turn and speak to each other so you actually get to talk. But this is just if you are doing a bit of text time because that's what part of the lesson is, or that you're feeling a little bit shy or you don't want to interrupt someone that's speaking. These are the kind of questions or comments you could ask so that they can still speak and you can still show that you're listening the whole time. So here is the text bar down here. As you can see, that is me in the meeting and I'm writing, what is your favourite animal? Because when somebody was talking, I didn't want to interrupt them, but I wanted to know what their favourite animal was. And then I might also add a little emoji in there. But again, I'm not spending all the time looking through all the emojis. I'm paying attention to what they're saying and they can see in my face that I'm smiling and I'm looking at them and I'm listening to what they're saying. And then when they say, oh, and I did really, really well and I won an award at the swimming carnival, I might put in an emoji that's like this one, that's like the celebration one to encourage them. So another thing that you might do is if you want to talk, but you don't want to keep interrupting someone because you can see they're in the middle of talking, but you don't want them to move on before you finished, you can press the raise your hand button. And this lets everybody see on the screen a little hand, and they know that you want to talk so that when they finish talking, they can come to it. Now have a look here. I'm going to use the draw it tool now, and I'm going to circle. I can see that little hand is just here. So that will appear on the screen while I'm waiting and while I'm watching and while people can see I'm still talking, they know that they'll come to me afterwards because I've got a question, especially if your teacher's talking. It's a good one. Here is a reaction one. Someone might say something and you might want to react, like you might want to say, oh, I love that, or me too, or something like that. You can press the reaction, and these are the kind of reactions that you get. So we're going to drag the comment to the reaction. Just make this a bit bigger so that you can see the actual comment. Here we go. Oh, so we have here the thumbs up one, thumbs up emoji. And and then we've got the heart one, we've got the shocked one, and we've got the laughing one. So I'm going to have the first comment is, what? Like, I can't believe it. I'm going to drag that to shocked because that's definitely shocked. I can't believe that happened to you. Yep, that's going to shocked as well. What about, like, I'm thinking that's so funny. I might use that reaction. Well, that's so funny. I might use, if someone's saying something that's so funny, I might use the little laughing reaction and that will come up in front of my face. If someone says something nice about me, I might say thank you just by putting a little heart reaction. Or if they're telling me something that's so sweet, I might be like, oh, that's so nice. So I might do a little heart reaction. And that shows that I might say, like, I love that as well. If they're saying, oh, I love dogs, because I love dogs. And then if I agree with someone, I might say, me too. I drag that over. Or I might say, I agree. Yeah, I might put the thumbs up because it shows that I agree. What other ones have I got here? Oh, no way. I can't believe it. Can't believe that happened. I might do the shocked one if I was thinking, no way. Or if someone was talking and I thought, oh, good job, I might put the thumbs up emoji, I think. And so that reaction will appear in front of your face. So like I showed you before, you will see it here, that react, and you can react while they're talking without having to interrupt them. Or you can just wait until they finished and go, oh, well done. It's also really nice to say it as well. And this is the clapping one. So if they've done something and they're telling about their achievement, you might clap, and then at the end of it, you might say, oh, well done. That was so good. You must have felt so proud of yourself. And that's really nice for people to hear as well. Some encouragement from their team, because we're all friends now. So now here's a button up the top which says more, and you can press those. Remember, you only press these if your teacher has said that you can, so you always have to listen to your teacher first. Now let's have a look here. Circle which background I chose. Now you can see me looking around because I can see SpongeBob's coming, and if you see, I used that drop down menu there, and I'll use the red color here, and here's the one that I chose. I chose that one, and then I pressed apply. Whoops. So that's the one that I chose, and it made that background for me. That was a background that I added myself, but there's some you can choose from in there. Now here's the camera. Obviously, if you don't have your camera on, people can't see you. It's really nice if you can see each other, because then you can talk to each other's face, or talk to each other and read each other's face. What's happening here if I'm talking way too close to the camera. Now that means that my voice will be probably really too loud because I'll be too close to the microphone, but also you can't see me, and it just is a bit distracting and hard to have a proper conversation. We want to be able to see everybody's whole face while you're talking. What about this one? What's wrong here? I can only see half of me. So if you're not sitting in front of the camera so that you can see your whole face, they can't see the whole of you either. So you want to try and sit so you can sort of be seen. And that makes it a bit easier when you're talking to people. It's easier to make friends that way and chat with them and see what they're thinking, because it shows, you can show what you're thinking on your face. And again, you might not be able to hear what's happening here. You can see here, I have only a tiny little hand here. And that is because I'm standing way too far away from the camera, which means that the people can't probably hear me, so they can't hear what I'm saying. And if you can't hear what someone's saying, or you can't see somebody, you could even say, oh, could you come closer to the screen because I can't really hear you? Or could you move back a bit because I can't really see you? It's good to tell people that, because that will help them when they're interacting with you. And it will help you hear and see. And this again is if you want to share your screen. If you've done some work in one of your lessons and your teacher said, yes, you're going to share your screen with your buddies now in your group, you might press the share the screen button, and that will share whatever is on your screen. So here I'm going to share my screen here. So I press share, and then I'm going to share the screen there in the window. And you can see, if you look very carefully, it's a little version of what I can see on my screen. So on my screen, I've got me, I've got a little bit of Teams in the background, and you can see that little bit in there. But if I had a different thing, when I press it, people can see whatever is on my screen. So I could share some of the work I've done, or if I wanted to show a picture of what my house looked like, or maybe I want to show you what my dog looks like. I know lots of you have kittens and wonderful pets. Someone even has a lizard, I think that. And here is the microphone. So if your microphone, it's at the top again. If your microphone is off, it means that we can't hear you. You're on mute. So never press it for other people. Never try and mute it for other people, because that's one of the rules, that we only work on our own one. But you can turn it off if you want to, if there's so much noise going on around you, and then turn it on when you want to speak, or you can, if you're somewhere quiet, you can just have it on the whole time. So there is the microphone, and make sure you've got it on so that everybody can hear you. Now let's see if we can remember some of these things. I'll move this across a little bit. Whoop. Here we go. Except it's moving me as well, so I'm just going to get off the screen for a second. It's a big one of me. Okay, there we go. That's better. So now we have the camera, and the camera matches with people being able to see you. So you've got to have your camera on for people to be able to see you. Then we have the chat one. This is where you can read. That little bubble means if someone's written a chat, that's where you can read what they've written. Or if you want to type something, that's where you do that. So this is this little fellow here, except he doesn't have any fingers, so it might be a bit hard for him to chat. Here is where the mic is. Now this is where, if you want to, what am I going to match that with? This one, share. Yes, I bet you got that one. Share your ideas. So you might ask a question or share your ideas. You've got to make sure your mic is on. And let's have a look here. We've got the share button. And that is if we want to share like that. Oh, I got it in 4 tries. So that is if I've got, and I'm just going to move it so you can see me a little bit. See the little man there? He is, the little robot is sharing his screen so that you can see what his work is, or what his project is, if he'd done a bit of a project on his family or his house. And so now, what is this next one doing? This is a collaborate board where I'm thinking, what would be some good team rules to help us work together? So I could share my thoughts and post it here, but I think what might be nice is if you think about some good rules and you could talk about them with your teacher in your class. What would be a good thing for us all to work to, that will help us work together and help us get things done, and so that we really enjoy everything, because I can see it's going to be so exciting and fabulous for you all. And we all know what this button is. This is the button that finishes it all. So well done, everyone. Congratulations on a brilliant first meet, and hopefully I'll get to meet you all soon. Bye.